Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So glad to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And I almost took tonight, to do a Tuesdays with Kathy. I haven't done one in a long time, and I was considering it's Tuesday. Boy, is my governor, Kathy Hochul, saying a lot of stuff. So I could do a Tuesdays with Kathy. But sometimes people love my Tuesdays with Kathy, and sometimes they just want to vomit. And I thought, do I really want my audience to vomit tonight? Part of me was like, yes, that would be amazing. And part of me was like, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't. But I could not get around the gerrymandering piece. And I thought to myself, all right, why do people care, if they care at all, about gerrymandering? Why would you care about that? There are so many, and I mean so many reasons why you should care. And I'm going to go through a bunch of them today. But I thought, how do I start this off? I'm going to kick this off by going to what I know is your favorite news station, MSNBC. Mike, get your bucket. I'm just saying. I warned you this time at least, all right? So don't be mad at me. I actually warned you. We're going to talk about that because we have to chat about what's actually happening, why it matters. And to be forward, MSNBC's little segment, it's a short segment, they actually covered a lot. I mean, maybe not the way you would want them to, but they actually did cover a lot in this one. And I want to go through this because it really does matter. And let me see if I can grab this piece. They actually cover a lot of pieces to this, which I think are important.
Yesterday released.
So hold on. You guys see that? Okay, hold on. Let me go back here if I can. There we go.
Republicans in Texas yesterday released the first draft of a new congressional map aimed at picking up 5 seats in next year's midterms.
True.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott added redistricting to the special session agenda at the urging of President Trump and his political team.
Now, the reality of this is gerrymandering, for those who don't know, is nothing new at all. This is not a brand new thing. This didn't just happen. Now, what they will try to make you believe is, well, there was basically no gerrymandering until Trump decided to gerrymander. Now, not true. Now, do I like gerrymandering? No. It is a terrible idea, and Trump shouldn't do it, and Abbott shouldn't do it. But nobody should do it. Nobody should. Not only should Trump not do it, not only should Abbott not do it, but neither should Kathy Hochul, and neither should anybody. And of course, you might say, Larry, gerrymandering, the Supreme Court's what they said, it's okay. Yes, and that's a goddamn embarrassment. It's a goddamn embarrassment that our judges yet again have failed us. Our judges suck so bad. It is so embarrassing that they do this. Clearly, gerrymandering, for those who don't know what that is, they will literally just take districts, they're going to cover it here, and just draw them in a way that ensures that certain teams win because of where people live. So it isn't based upon, say, geographical area where people may have the same needs or who may care about some of the same issues. No, that at least would make some sense. No, it's, oh, how do we get this street and that street where the most registered Democrats or the most registered Republicans live, so we can win. This is political parties picking their voters, not voters picking political parties. That's why it's utterly wrong and unconstitutional. Larry, how can it be unconstitutional? Because of what I just said. Is it constitutional for people to pick their parties? No, of course not. That's the First Amendment. You can pick a party if you want to. You can decide not to if you want to. Right? You can, because of the First Amendment, you may assemble as you see fit for political reasons in any way you see fit. That's our First Amendment. So you, as a citizen, may pick a political party if you choose to. Political parties picking you? Where's that in the Constitution? Where is it anywhere? Yeah, that's made up shit. And judges know that. Do they do anything? No. They go, it's fine. States' rights or whatever. No, not states' rights. Citizens' rights. Citizens' rights. But Larry, are you against political parties? I am. However, why? Because of the current form of them. You again, political parties are legal and should be legal and are constitutional and should be constitutional. But in the way they are now, they are unconstitutional. Why? Because taxpayers pay for them and they run elections. That is unconstitutional. So if you're going to allow them to run elections and use taxpayer dollars to do so, that's when they become unconstitutional. If they're just private organizations that decide to create and support customers, well, yeah, but support candidates or support issues or push ballots or push policies, totally and completely constitutional, no worries at all, please do so. But once they start running elections, once they start picking their own people, they're unconstitutional, and every single judge should know that. If they don't, shame on them. If they do, shame on them. Either way, shame on them.
Republicans currently control 25 of the 38 congressional districts in Texas. Under the new maps, the President Trump would have carried 30 of 38 seats, all by more than 10 points. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is in Texas meeting with Democrats as they weigh their options on how to fight the redistricting efforts.
Now, here's how you fight the redistricting efforts. You might say, well, Larry, how do we do this? Okay, here's how you fight those efforts. You tell your judges to knock it down. Larry, they can't tell judges. Yes, judges are not beholden to you. They don't care what you think at all. I know. I've been in front of them many times. They also don't care about the Constitution. That's not something they care about at all. That also, as you know, in New York State, we have judges who literally say the Bill of Rights does not exist in my courtroom. The Bill of Rights. So they don't care about that either. They are beholden to the party infrastructure that puts them into place. That is how they're either selected or how they're put into place to be voted on. And they've made this stupid rule, for those who don't know. A judge can't tell you their opinion on anything. I'm not joking. Now, that's not constitutional or some law. They made that shit up. Why? So they're beholden to no one. So if you ask a judge, well, how would you rule on that? I can't tell you. All I can tell you is my experience, and I will lean and I'll make sure it's the Constitution. So you don't know what the hell they are or they're doing. Again, utterly unconstitutional. That's not a thing. They didn't make the Constitution and say, okay, when you vote for judges, don't ask them anything. Now, when the judges go up for the Supreme Court, don't they ask them? All the time. They ask them all kind of questions, as you should. So the senators get to ask Supreme Court judges any question they want. But we as voters, we can't. Why? Because they say so. That's not a law. That's not a rule. That's not a constitution. They made that shit up so that, again, the parties control judges. You want to fix this thing, Democrats? Tell your judges to knock this down. Done. Finished. But they won't. They won't. Why won't Democrats do that? And they care so much about democracy. That's what they told us. They told us they care about democracy. That's what they said. That's what Kathy Hochul said. It's about evil Republicans getting rid of democracy. That's what she told me. Wait a minute. So obviously, she will then tell all her judges knock this down. No, she won't. Why? Because they do it too. Because, believe it or not, in New York, they did it first. New York did it first. I know. I got screwed by it. Yeah. After 2020, when New York State had to redistrict because so many people left my state, we lost congressional seats to the redistrict, right? The Democratic plan was so blatantly gerrymandered, and I mean so blatantly gerrymandered, that the judges were literally like, I can't do this. The judges literally were like, look, I'm a partisan hack, and even I can't do this. Like, it's so bad. They basically ran a whole bunch of Republicans just out. If they wrote off like 4 or 5 Republicans gone out of New York State. That's a true thing. That was the original. And Republicans were like, dude, look, we made a deal here. And here's the next reason why. Why is gerrymandering so popular in particularly deep blue and deep red states? Because deep blue states like New York, Republicans can have no chance of gaining power again, right? Places like Oklahoma, Democrats have no chance of gaining power again. So there's no chance of gaining power. So for them to acquiesce to the leadership, what must they do? Get their crumbs. Get their crumbs. I'm not joking. So they make a deal. The Republicans in the blue states, Democrats in the red states go, hey, just give us these 6 places. Let us control these places. These are our little fiefdoms within your kingdom, and we'll pretend to be opposition. We won't do anything, but like once in a while, we'll like call you names and stuff. and we'll like go far left or far right, depending upon wherever you are. This way you can yell at your people and raise money, and we can raise money. And that's literally a deal they make. Let me say it again. That's literally a deal they make. That's why this is so prevalent in deep blue and deep red states. The Republicans know they can't win anything in New York State. I mean, statewide. So they go, we can't gain power. Can we just have these crumbs and just gerrymander us in so we can keep it no matter what? Because we don't really have any policies because we can't do anything. And then in Oklahoma, Democrats do that. They go, okay, look, we're never going to win Oklahoma. So can we just have a couple of these? And then we can't make any policies. So we can just yell how bad you are. And don't worry, you can yell at us too. And we'll just make money. And they go, yeah. But New York State was so greedy in 2020 and 2021. The Democrats were so greedy. They were like, no, we're writing you all out. They were tracked. There was a movement in California, but the California Democrats were like, wait a minute. We can't go that far. There was actually a movement in California to redistrict out, I'm not joking, all Republicans, every one of them. And they were like, we can't go that far. Like, they won't let us do that, right? Even the California Democrats backed off and said, we can't go that far. New York Democrats like, oh, we can. To hell with you, Republicans. We're going as far as we can go. And it was so bad, the judges were like, I can't do this. So what happened is went to an independent thing, and the independent group is what screwed Democrats over in 2022 so badly, right? And they'll go, well, it's because Lee Zeldin was a great candidate. Lee Zeldin was a great candidate. He was a regular mediocre Republican again, like they all were. Same guy. More cops, same guy. The redistricting is why Republicans got 5 seats in New York State. It wasn't because Zeldin was the great or the New York GOP was so awesome. No, redistricting. That's what happened. And it screwed over a bunch of Democrats. So now Democrats are using this as revenge. Now we can put our plans into play that we already had from 2021, 2022, but they were so horrible that we just couldn't do it. Now, and this is the mistake that Abbott made. I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but he just gave Democrats the perfect excuse to now utterly redistrict their own states and crush the Republicans in return. That's why they won't stop this, because they want it. Let's say it again. They could stop this. They don't want to. They'll make sure they'll do it. And they can do as bad as they can, and they're going to crush. And here's the best part. Kathy Hochul gets to sound righteous when she does it. And you know she loves to sound righteous. Boy, does she love that. That's what is actually happening right now.
Which could include leaving the state. Jeffries is supposed to hold a news conference today at the state capitol in Austin. Meanwhile, the Texas Tribune has new reporting that
By the way, here's the part that I love. I actually like when Democrats leave Texas. I do. I know some of you get mad. I think it's great grandstanding. I do. It doesn't change anything, but it's good grandstanding, right? Again, it's a deep red state. They can't win anything. Look, if Republicans in New York State would do stuff like this, maybe someone would pay attention to them. If you're a New York State Republican, I'd be jealous if I were you. At least Democrats get some attention. They can't get nothing else in Texas, so they get some attention. We're going to go off and leave and grandstand. They're in the news. It's like Cory Booker. I'm going to yell at Democrats or do my, what did he do? He was doing his standing for 24 hours, filibustering, whatever. I'll change the world. He'll change nothing. But guys in the news. So I'm actually not mad at him for it. I think it's actually pretty cool. Good for them. Good for them.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has told aides he will move forward with a plan to redraw his state's congressional.
See, they're taking advantage of it. Look, I hate this. I think it's bad. I think it shows how broken the system is. But if I'm an establishment Democrat, I would do it too. If I was an established Democrat, establishment Democrats don't really have any souls anyway, so it doesn't matter. They're going to do it anyway, right? And look, Abbott's an establishment Republican. He doesn't have a soul. All establishment guys don't have souls. So he doesn't have a soul either. So he'll just redistrict away, so will everyone else. And here's the worst part. What's being lost is, for some of you who don't get this, independent parties and independent voters are growing as fast as they possibly can. You've seen it. It's huge. This is their defense against that. They will gerrymander independent parties out also. That's why they're both doing it. They're acting like they're fighting each other. They're not fighting each other. They're not. I don't mean to be cruel. They're not. Texas is going to ensure that Texas stays red. New York's going to ensure that it stays blue. California's going to ensure it stays blue. It's going to make sure there's no independence. This is what's going to make independent. This is their defense against the independent wave. This is what they're going to call it nonpartisan. It's not nonpartisan. That's a lie. They're going to make it to where they're going to stop the other. And because it's going to end democracy. They're going to tell us that. Both sides are going to tell you that. And the reality of it is, it's to end your choice. This is going to end your choice.
Lines to install more Democrats if Texas Republicans pass their own updated map. Let's bring in MSNBC contributor Mike Barnacle and politics reporter for Semaphore, Dave Weigel. Dave's latest reporting is titled "Democrats Struggle Against Trump-Waged Redistricting Battle." So
now, see, that is obviously not a biased title at all. Democrats struggle against Trump-waged redistricting battle. See, that's not in any way colored in any way at all. Look, his audience does want to hear that. Like, his audience still wants to hear Orange Man bad. I get it. So for your audience, it actually is a good title for your audience. It is. I mean, I got to respect the game. You want people to read it, put Orange Man bad, put Beto up there, and they're going to read it. And you're going to be on MSNBC. So I guess well done.
Dave, let's talk about exactly what's happening right now in Texas and how unusual this is. They usually redistrict maps all over the country after the census every 10 years. This taking place right in the middle of a decade, really from pressure applied by President Trump.
Yes, this is true. And the reason is the Supreme Court said they can, which they should not have said that. The Supreme Court should have said, no, you can't do that. That's not how this works. And they didn't. They failed us. So let me grab a couple of comments before we keep going here. Vivek is here. He says, this gerrymandering back and forth shows how horrible the two-party system is. Yes. Only way we get out is left-leaning vote green instead of Dem, and right-leaning vote Libertarian instead of Republican. One minor thing. Everyone votes Libertarian. So almost right, Vivek. Everyone votes Libertarian. That's the real answer. Everyone votes Libertarian. Problem solved. See? I had it done. Easy day. Mike Voss is in the house. He says, he had a couple things. All right, let me go. I think this is the first one. Yes, gerrymandering sucks. True. Yes, we should stop it. Yep. It has no public benefit. Yep. No, this is not the way to do that. Yep. The Dems' emotional manipulation, please, using the argument are false. Yes, but see, yes and no. The Democrats are being savvy here, Mike, and they're acting like they didn't want to do this. You and I both know with them in New York, they absolutely wanted to, and they got caught last time. We remember that. The rest of the country doesn't remember that shit. For those of you who don't know, when I ran for governor in 2022, there is a rule. There are many reasons why I was thrown off the ballot, but one of them was there's a rule that says you have to get at least 500 signatures from at least half of the congressional districts in a state. That's a rule. They might go, last time, crazy rule. It isn't a crazy rule. That's not a crazy rule. Except when I was getting signatures, there were no districts. Why? Because, as I said, the Democrats had made their districting so horrible, so terrible, that even judges were like, dude, I can't do this. You're literally just wiping Republicans off the map. I can't do it. It's like, I can't. So they then had to go back and redistrict everything. So there were no districts. That's how I remember this so deeply. So I couldn't comply. And you would think a judge would go, yeah, I get that. It's physically impossible for you to comply with this rule because we don't have any districts because we were so corrupt. And the judges were like, I don't care. You can't do it. And you can't do it. You can't be on the ballot. I wish I was joking. I'm not. So I remember very clearly how Democrats did this. They just got caught and busted because they were so greedy, they got hammered. So what have they done? Well, they act like it never happened. And unless, Mike, you and I were there, but unless someone was there, they don't remember this. They're like, oh, yeah, it's Trump started this whole thing. And I'm telling you, it's going to work. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's going to work. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely going to work. So let me grab a couple more of these if I could. All right. Phil says, Kathy Hochul has no ground to stand on with gerrymandering. Okay. Phil was there too. So yeah, he remembers. Phil was there too. He was there too. True. So, all right. Let me see if I can go here. Let's see here. Patty says, on August 4th, 1944, Anne Frank was abducted by the G guys over there in the German area. Today, Republican governors threaten political enemies with removal. ICE tests apart families. Books are banned. Never again means nothing. Well, I understand your emotion, Patty. I do. I don't think we're anywhere near Anne Frank right now, but I do get your concern. I don't think we're anywhere near that right now. Could we get there? Maybe. But the fact that so many people feel the way you do, the fact that so many people are saying what you're saying, you're not alone in what you're saying, makes me feel like we can't get there. If this was, say, Germany in 1929, 1933, there were very few Germans saying this. The Germans are just saying, help. Just help. That's it. That's all they were saying. They were broken people. They were just like, help. I don't think we're there yet. Could we get there? Yes. We're not there yet. That's what I would say. So anyway, let me keep going down here if I can. John says, both parties care about each other's opponents gerrymandering, but libertarians hate when both do it. That's different. Yes. Yes. Mike says we are nowhere near. Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I don't think we're there. Could we get there? Yeah, we could get there. I don't think we are there. So yes. So, all righty. Let's see here. Okay. Plain Nut 767 says, hi, Larry. Any legal precedent for redrawing districts outside the web window given by the census? Yes. And New York State did it. Yeah. And then there was the Supreme Court literally said you can do it anytime you want. Literally said you can do it anytime you want. Yes, the Supreme Court completely screwed us over and just blew us off.
That's the part that's unusual. The Supreme Court, actually starting in Texas in 2003, clarified that states can redistrict, gerrymander whenever they want. It doesn't.
Thank you. Wow, it's perfect timing. Hope that answers your question. Yes, that's what happened. Anytime they want, the Supreme Court said, go ahead. Shame on them. And then recently, what's it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? In the last 5 years, I forgot when it was. Gerrymandering went back up to the Supreme Court and they refused to hear it. They're like, it's already taken care of. Why would we hear it? Because we need you, you terrible judges. That's why. We need you to take care of this. The empty suits, the bought and paid for brain dead chimps that are in our assemblies, particularly New York State Assembly, they don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about righteousness. They don't care about voter rights. Those things mean nothing to them. I'm not even exaggerating. It means nothing to them. That's why there's a third branch of government to go, hey, chimps, no, brain dead chimps. You may not have stupid laws that just make sure you keep staying in power forever. You may not do that. And the judges went, nah, it's fine. Why? Because they're beholden to the party infrastructure and not us nor the Constitution.
Need to be right after the census. And what is unique this time is how little pretense there is that this is about anything but helping Trump get more seats.
And that's the point. The Supreme Court said that's okay. The Supreme Court said that's okay. Everybody knows that what gerrymandering does is literally made to make deals on voters. Why would the Supreme Court go, that's fine? How shameful is that? How broken? The reason why our laws are such shit is not because we have bad congresspeople. We do. Not because we have crappy assemblymen. We do. It's because our judges have utterly failed us. You hear me scream and yell about judges all the time. Why? Because they're a goddamn embarrassment. They are supposed to be on our side or the Constitution side. They're on neither.
This started with Harmeet Dillon at the DOJ sending Texas a letter and saying, we have civil rights concerns about some of the majority-minority districts that were drawn in 2021. But listening to the Republicans defending this and posting about on social media, they are describing this, the Republicans in Austin, as giving Trump 5 more seats. And
yes, but they're not wrong. And to be forward, I actually prefer this. Larry, you prefer? Yes, just be honest. Just tell me the game. Tell me the game. Just do it. Just tell me the game. Hey, we're going to use the system to screw you over. Okay. When they threw me off the ballot, that's what they said. They're like, we don't want you running. They literally said it. And the judges knew it. And I want to be very clear. The judges knew it. it wasn't like if someone had actually tried to say, we think Larry's not qualified to be a governor, or we think that if he were to run, he would break the system, or we think that voters would be confused, or whatever. I mean, that would be bullshit. None of that was true. They literally said, we don't want him on the ballot. And the judges were like, yeah, that's fine. Yes. So they do it when they're throwing me off the ballot. Do it here. Judges don't care. Let me say it again. Judges don't care. They are literally saying, we are going to gerrymander so our political party can get more seats. And judges are like, yes, that's fine. Why? Because they're all part of the parties. They're all in the same group. They all want it. It's a big party, and you ain't in it.
Talking to Republicans in Indiana, Missouri, other places where they have the power to draw more seats if they want to.
Yep.
That is how they phrase it. It is not,
So now they're like, let's all do it. Hey, let's just all do it. Just do it. Yep.
restoring the justice that was denied to us by the previous map, or this is going to better represent these constituents. It is, we want Trump to have more seats. He deserves more seats. We need to stop the left from taking power.
And that's the piece right there. This is why the two-party system is utter shit. Because of what he just said. We need to stop the left from taking power. And most Republicans believe that's true. They believe that's true. Therefore, they can do anything. Well, guess what? Most Democrats think you got to stop Trump. So they can do anything. When you believe that every single thing the other guy does is an existential threat upon the entire world, you can do anything. We got to do anything. Can't the left win? So I guess I can, to your point, Patty, put them all in camps. The left can't stop, got to stop Trump. Put them all in camps. How about we don't give either side so much power so it doesn't matter? How about that? Why don't we actually care about a system that actually might work? Why don't we care about people actually voting? This is just going to make more people angry. And this is the future. Why do I care so much about this? Because it solidifies blue and red states. And what will happen, I guarantee you what will happen is what's been happening is there's kind of been a detente in most of these deep blue and deep red states because, hey, like even in Texas, the Democrats like, look, we'll pretend to fight you. I mean, we're not gonna, but we'll pretend. We'll act like we don't like you and we'll call you names, shake our fist, and once in a while we'll do some dumb rap videos. We'll do that kind of stuff, right? And pretend like we're doing something. And you run a state. We just want our fiefdoms. We can make our money and keep our power so we can do that, right? And Republicans went, deal. You can have these areas. We'll have these areas. We have a cartel system. Life is good. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. But Democrats in New York said, wait. Remember I've told you this before 1,000 times? In politics, there's no actual court system or cops. It's not really a thing. Your agreements are only enforced through leverage. That's it. Well, he said, she said. Nobody cares. Doesn't mean anything. They don't have contracts. It's not a thing. You make a handshake and people you trust or don't trust. That's how it works in politics. I know. I still have I have scars in my back from that. I know how that works. That's how it works. So the Democrats in New York said, Republicans haven't won anything in like 20 years. They got no leverage. We're just going to take this. That's what actually happened. Again, if Mike's still on, Mike will remember. Democrats are like, we're just going to take it. Don't care. Republicans got no leverage. We'll just take it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing. We'll just take it. That's what Democrats in New York State did. And they went too far. And it was a backlash because they broke that detente. Well, now Trump's like, oh, I'm going to break it too. There was detente in Texas. Democrats got their little chunk. Republicans got their big chunk. Democrats got a small chunk. Everybody's making money. Everybody's happy. Republicans now went, nah, I think we're going to take it. And they're moving to take it. So as they move to take it, now Democrats in New York go, oh, good. Now we tried that before. Now we're going to take it. And then Newsom's like, oh, we taking? We're moving? Let's do it. He's going to take it too. You're going to watch this happen again and again and again. And they'll gerrymander and remake deals again to create detente again. They will create detente again. They will. It'll be a different detente. They'll create it again. They will. What will that do? solidify everything even more to ensure nothing changes. And the worst part about that is another step, not towards the camps, but towards violence, towards more people giving up, to more people not caring, to more people not being engaged. And when that strong man comes, they can't wait to put the armband on. Let me grab a super chat if I could. Daniel, without gerrymandering, politics would actually have to court multi-partisan public opinion. We can't have that, Larry. Valid point, Daniel. Thank you for $10. Valid point. That would get in the way of them making money. And that's the most important pieces for them to make cash and have power and stuff. Yeah. And then how would AOC be able to do, I don't know, like TikTok videos and stuff? How could she do that? Right? How could Ted Cruz go on like shows and get yelled at by Tucker Carlson? How could he do that then? Right? Because you have to like do work and stuff. We don't want that. You have to like, I don't know, fix things. We don't want that. Right? That gets in the way. Valid point. Yes. And that's what we're doing here. That's the sad part. Gerrymandering is so obvious. And again, he's saying it. The courts know it and don't care. They're supposed to stop this stuff. Courts are supposed to stop this stuff.
And that's what the position Democrats are put in there is, do they want to defend the idea of independent commissions or something else? Or they just want to say this is tit for tat. We cannot allow them to turn the country into the comparison I hear the most often.
Yeah, they didn't say this is the we care about equality. They said got to save the country.
Is Hungary.
Right. And Mike Barnacle, we're talking about this.
By the way, I hate Mike Barnacle. He's the guy with the Aleppo question for Gary Johnson. So he can go take a hike and fall off a building.
2025. This has been going on for such a long time. And, whenever some people have come up to me in the past and asked, why are things so different now in Washington than they were before? One of the first reforms I talk about is the ending of gerrymandering. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's insanely stupid. That's not the reason at all. That's not at all. I mean, well, okay, he isn't that bright in general, and the moron next to him is also stupid, but that's fine. That's not the answer at all. The answer is the division in the two-party system is even deeper, and the rules they made after Ross Perot. That's the reality. It's not gerrymandering. It's the rules after Ross Perot.
How you get from here to there, but it's absolutely critical because it started in the 90s when they started using computers to redistrict and they could draw lines perfectly.
It's the computers that did it, see?
Perfectly to make sure that if you're in Florida 1, you get all the Republicans. If you're in Florida 2, you get all the Democrats. And you can vote with your party 90, 95, 98% of the time. And a primary win is as good as a general election win.
And that's the other reason why gerrymandering, this is why with the current system, we need to have open primaries. Now, in a theoretical issue, I'm against open primaries theoretically, meaning that an individual group should be able to do what they feel within their own group. I agree with that concept. But in practice, it's not even close to true. When you add both gerrymandering and then taxpayer-funded primaries, you have to have open primaries. If you remove gerrymandering and remove taxpayers paying for the primaries, there should be no open primaries. An individual group, whatever that group is, political party, should be able to select their person as they see with their members. That makes total sense. So I get the argument of, well, why should Democrats or independents be helping to, elect Republicans? Because we're paying for it is why. That's the reason. Because gerrymandering to where I don't have an option where you set up a system to where I don't get to pick my political party, the political party picks me. So if the political party picks me and I'm paying for it, you should not get closed primaries. Change those two things and I'm in. Because in theory, that's accurate. In practice, it's not. He's correct. I mean, he's not bright, but he's right here. In this case, he's correct.
Once you get past the primary, it's over. And so that's why you have so many House members going to the extremes. And they could, whether Republicans are in charge or Democrats are in charge, that's been the case for years now. I mean, we have to figure out a way to end.
It's called end gerrymandering. We have to figure out some answer. It also could be called ranked choice voting. I'd buy either of those. Or it could be open primaries. That would also work. Any of those would work. Open primaries would work. End gerrymandering would work, right? Those could work. So we already have answers. Smart guy, I've got to figure something out. I've been talking about this for years.
Gerrymandering. It would make such a huge difference. Imagine if somebody's, instead of in a 90-10 district or an 80-20 district, they're in a 50-50 district or a 55-45 district. They actually have to listen to everybody in their district. They have to actually do what's best.
The reality is where I live, and I think I told you this, Mom Donnie, yes, he is my assemblyman. Yes, he is. It's true. I live in the belly of the beast. AOC is my congressperson. I'm not making that up. That's absolutely true. Mom Donnie, at least when AOC runs, she doesn't win 99-1. The Republicans still run somebody against her. They ran Tina Forte against her twice. I like Tina. She's a friend of mine. I voted for her. But she wasn't going to win, and she knew it. I mean, I like Tina, but she's not going to win, right? There was no way. Just the district is gerrymandered hard, and 6-1 Democrat, Republican. She was never going to win. But at least it's like 85-15, right? Mom Donnie wins 99-1 because Republicans don't even bother running anyone against him anymore. The 1% is the write-ins. Again, I'm not joking. You can do your own homework on Ballotopedia or whatever, and you can see it. He wins 99-1. As I said before, Stalin would be jealous of those numbers. Kim Jong-un is like, what? How'd you get them numbers? Yes. Saddam Hussein is like, man, you killing it. Well, he's gone, but if he were alive, he'd be like, I need to go hang out with Mom Donnie. He got the plan. 99-1. So yeah, that's where we are right now. And people are like, well, things are fine. They're not. If you are not a Democrat in my district, no one has to pay attention to you at all. At all. They ignore you. Now, I've met Mom Donnie. I had him on my show. I've met AOC. I've met my city councilman, Tiffany Caban. I met them. They're nice. They're nice people, but they don't listen to me. They don't care what I think. I don't matter. My vote is irrelevant. I am utterly and totally disenfranchised. My vote does not matter. It doesn't matter at the state level. It doesn't matter at the city level. It doesn't matter at the federal level. My vote is irrelevant. My vote is a virtue signal. By default, it's a virtue signal. So yeah, I like to change these things. And eventually, to Patty's point, perhaps, enough people say, my vote doesn't matter at all. I don't have democracy. And when these people, the elites are going, we got to save democracy. People go, what democracy? I don't have democracy. I don't have democracy. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I do not have democracy where I live. I have no say in my government. That's not exaggeration. I have no say. I have to hope that I get decent leaders who won't hurt me too much. That's basically what I have. I hope that my leaders won't hurt me too much. That's politics for me. Why do I want to fight for that? Why do I want to defend that? Why do I care what your feelings are? Eventually, most people feel that way. At that point, you don't have a nation anymore.
Best for the country, and then go back in their town hall meetings. And instead of talking to people who are 95% Democratic or 95% Republican, they're talking to a lot of independents. They're talking to some Republicans. They're talking to some Democrats, and they're talking about what makes America best, not what makes a party.
He just preached for 5 minutes and said nothing. That's his normal way of doing things. He was like, all right, but he's nothing. I think things should be good. Yeah, but he spends every day showing up and yelling about how Republicans are evil every single day and doesn't care. He's utterly partisan. If he were to say this as someone who at least would give either side the benefit of doubt, maybe you can listen. But he's just, we got to make sure things are working somehow so only my Democrats can win. What? Yeah. Ryan's laughing. He goes, Democrats care about democracy. I know, weird, right? Yeah, that's not a thing. But they say it. Look, as I always give credit where credit is due, the Democratic rhetoric's pretty good. So, like, we got to save democracy. It's good rhetoric. I mean, it's utter garbage and not true at all. But it does sound good. Like, I want to save democracy. Well, there we go. And hopefully, if you're a low information voter, you go, well, I got to save democracy. Why? Democrats told me so. Did you do any homework? No, not at all. I'm just going to listen to my talking head. And my talking head told me I have to save democracy. Oh, okay. What does it mean? I have to hate Trump. Oh, so if you hate Trump, then you save democracy? Yes. I guess I'll hate Trump too then, because then that's how we save democracy. That's how we save democracy. See? Done and done. We have saved democracy. Easy day. I love it. Well, speaking of that, I do want to bring up something else if I could. And what do you think I'm going to bring up? Yeah, I am going to bring up elections, which do matter, of course. And I'm going to bring it up from It's Civil, of course. Yes, there's a piece that I thought was interesting that I found on Civil, and it's from someone who I actually know, a friend of mine, a lovely woman named Christina Tobin. She actually was interviewed here and talking about we need more choices for elections. She runs free and fair elections, and she talks about that all the time. She does. If you see, she does a bunch of she does a lot of outreach. She does debates. She does lots of things regarding this. And here she is. And this is from Free the People from last year.
This week, I'm talking to Christina Tobin of Free and Equal about the two-party duopoly, the way they rigged the system against third-party candidates, and what we can do to stop the game and demand change. Check it out.
That's the piece that I want you to look at. Head over to Civil if you can. This is the kind of thing you'll see constantly. Third parties actually changing things, how to change them. Remember, head over to Civil, CIVL.com. Put in the code Larry, LARRY, 50% off of the entire year. That means $25 for a year. It's a steal. Yeah, lots of cool things you can watch to include shows like this. You can see Christina. I'm going to see Christina this weekend, by the way. So I'm blatantly biased. She's my friend. I know. So what? I'm still right. Anyway, so yes, I will see you this weekend. You can check her out on Civil if you like. And tomorrow night, I think my show is going to be on energy. I'm trying to come up with the right answer, but I think this is going to be my show. But this made me rethink. I started rethinking because of the news popping up. So I'm rethinking it, but it might be on energy. Because remember, Wednesday, we have We Fix It Wednesday. We Fix It Wednesday is on Civil only, 7 p.m. only on Civil. So if you want to see that show, you got to come on to Civil, CIVL.com, code Larry, for the Wednesday show. It is that Wednesday. That show itself is only on Civil. So if you can, pop on over and check me out there. Again, Civil, trying to make things better, upgrading civilization, avoiding the conflict machine, and actually giving you real information, real chat, real talk, real info. And if you want to say, I want to talk cool like Larry talks, well, watch Civil and you can. And my show was there, which makes it even better. Just saying, makes it even better. Absolutely. All right, grab some of these, some more of this. So many of these, I do appreciate it. All righty. Ryan says we are represented by children. True. Very true. Yes. All right. You guys are going back and forth a lot. I appreciate that. I'll keep going down here. John says, not saying it was her fault. I just know lately I've crapped on her, but she doesn't choose her districts. Oh, okay. No, that's someone else. You have so much. You guys, we have so many things going back and forth. I sometimes can't see it all. But Jan T was good. Jan T has reposted this. And that's important, guys. If you can repost this, please do so. Right? Repost this someplace else. Share this someplace else. Every bit does count. If you have not clicked the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo, please do so now. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I'm saying, if you appreciate the back and forth, if you enjoy the chat, which many of you enjoy the chat better than a show, that's fine. I'm not mad at it. Click the like button, though. That's all. You can like the chat better than me. It's fine. It's fine. Just click the like button and we're good. So, yes. All righty. Phil says, I'm going to try to make wheelchair jokes because I like Abbott. He really stands up for Texas. Boo. 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 There we go. Kim says, no corporation has big donors. Until we stop this corruption, our elections will be bought and paid for. It's up to we, the people, to put a stop to it. I agree. And the way you do this, there's a way of doing it. The problem is the Supreme Court has done the stupidest thing they've done in a long time. And they've said that corporations are people. They are not people. They're either numbers in a computer or stuff written on a piece of paper. They're not people. That's a stupid thing. They're clearly not. You might go, wait a minute, they are because Supreme Court says so. No, they are legally, but it's insanely stupid. Okay. If they're people, they're not. If they're people, then you cannot subpoena data from a company. What do you mean? They have a Fifth Amendment right. They can just say no. Am I incriminating myself? Yes, they're people, right? If they got First Amendment rights, they got Fifth Amendment rights, don't they? So now when you say, I want to see your taxes. No. Why? I might incriminate myself. So no, you can't see my taxes. What? I'm a person. I have Fifth Amendment rights. I'm not giving you my tax numbers. So yeah, how much money did you make? $1. Let me see your paper. No. What? Fifth Amendment rights. I doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't work. Of course not. It's stupid. But the Supreme Court has said so that it is. Okay, I get it. So here's how you deal with it. You simply say, you can make this a federal law, state law, whatever you want to make. The only people who may donate to a candidate is a person who is eligible to vote. That's it. That's your rule. You may donate to a candidate or spend money on political speech if you are eligible to vote. You don't have to be registered, just eligible. Are you eligible to vote? You are. You may give money. You may spend money. You're not. You can't. Well, corporations can't vote, can they? And the people shouldn't be able to vote. They should be. Half of the companies in America started in Delaware, so they're born in America. At least half of them are born in America. You're born in America. You're a person. Why can't you vote? You're a citizen, naturalized by default, right? You're born in America. Why can't you vote? They can't. It's insanely stupid. But that's how you fix it. You simply you want to fix election campaign finance. You want to fix campaign finance. Very simple. That's the rule. You make a very simple rule. You cannot give money unless you're eligible to vote. That's it. Done deal. Problem solved. PACs go away tomorrow because PACs can't vote. Corporations can't put any money in. They can't vote. You solved your problem right there. Now, could wealthy people do it? Yes, but wealthy people don't decide elections. How do I know that? Well, I asked President Bloomberg. Oh, wait, I couldn't. Yeah, because just because you have lots of money doesn't mean you. Well, you could ask President. You could though if you wanted to. You could ask President Bill Gates. Oh, wait, no. President Bezos? No. So yeah, it's not enough. When people know one person's writing the check and not invisible PACs, it turns people off. So the one person doesn't work. So yeah, and Bloomberg put all that money individually into Cuomo, and Cuomo didn't win either. So that's how you solve the problem, Kim. Just in case you were wondering. Yes, I had an answer for it because I tend to have answers. So yeah, let me grab a couple more of these if I can. All righty. Andrea says, I just want to know what these Texas Democrats running to Illinois and New York is going to do for them. What it just did, it puts them on TV. Right? For those who don't know, almost anybody, meaning a group of people, to take action has to have what's called quorum. Those of you who played in the political world, or you know what quorum is, or on boards, you know what a quorum is. If you don't, you don't know what that means. It means you can't do things unless you have a certain percentage of the people available. Why would that matter? Let's say we're on a board and there's 15 people on my board. You make a rule in your bylaws that says what quorum is. And quorum usually is half or more. But there's exceptions, but generally it's half or more. So if there are 15 people on my board, I can't do anything unless 8 are present. You might go, why? Well, because I don't want me and Andrea getting together and making a bunch of rules with nobody there, right? So nobody's there. We're going to make rules. We're going to make rules that say Mike and Ryan can't vote. We made a rule. You should have showed up, right? That's not how it works. You have to have at least a certain amount of people. Each organization may have different rules, but generally speaking, it's around half or more, generally speaking. So if I can't get 8 people to show up, then I can't get quorum, which means I can't do anything until people show up. So in the case of Texas, they have a quorum rule also. I don't know what the number is, but if all Democrats leave, enough people don't exist, can't show up, and then they can't have quorum, they can't do anything. They can't pass any laws. They can't do anything without people showing up. So they physically leave and they go to Illinois and New York. Why? Well, so they can have a place to stay. The Democratic establishment physically gives them a place to stay, right? Like a hotel or someone's house or whatever, some party-owned facility, a place to stay, and they get to go on TV. That's what it does. They get to go on TV. They get to have more, commercials now, and we're beating and we're fighting Trump. They get that, which raises money for them. So all those things. So yeah. All righty. Joshy says, I wish gerrymandering didn't exist, but it does. So the victor goes to spoils. Every state has a right to decide how they want to do it. This is democracy, but it isn't democracy. You're incorrect, Joshy. It's not democracy. I wish it was. It's not. It's oligarchy. It's not democracy. It is the leaders of 2 parties deciding what happens. To the victor goes the spoils in war. Are you saying we're in civil war? I hope not, but that's what it looks like. I don't want that, right? With that logic, if I want to then take all my prisoners and execute them, that will be fine, right? No, there needs, if we're going to live together, there has to be rules. If we're going to respect the system, it has to somehow serve us, or we have to at least believe that it's true, right? Even if it isn't, we have to at least believe it. So that's the issue. So, all right, let me head back to this if I could. I want to grab a couple more of these pieces. I think there's still some interesting points I want to bring up. A couple of them here or there, a couple. All right.
Or a president strongest.
Yeah, but Joe, you just used the phrase, what's best for the country, that they think of what's best for the country. I don't know that anyone on either side of the aisle, Republican or Democrat, is more or less thinking about what's best for the country.
None of them are. He's right.
Other than now uniquely, what's best for us as a party?
True.
What's best for me for my
True.
re-election race? What's
True.
best for me in order to avoid a primary? And
True.
Dave Weigel,
Or not just that, to raise money. Let's not forget raise money.
the idea of this going forward in such a public way, I mean, they're not trying to hide anything. What role will the courts play, and when will the courts play it, if they play a role at all?
That's the point. He's that correct. Even though I hate this guy, he's totally correct. Yes. Yes.
Well, Democrats have the option of suing if the maps are put into effect. They would argue that because this map is going to delete some majority minority seats, that.
Yeah. The issue, though, is that the argument of it will delete seats will not work. They're going to have to make it race. You're like, race again? Yes, because there are laws when it comes to race because of a legacy of slavery. There's actually laws on that. That will break a gerrymandering. It will. They'll go, yeah, you know, it's you can't keep the black people out. So yeah, we can do that. So they'll make sure they add enough black people in each one, which of course they're going to do that. Okay, see, we got the right percentage, right? And then that breaks that rule. But that will actually work. It's
a violation of the Voting Rights Act. But look at the courts in Texas. Look where this would go. It would get, after go through state courts, kicked up to the Fifth Circuit. You're not likely to find a panel of judges who will agree with them.
That's the sad part. He's right.
There is a risk that gets kicked up to a 6-3 SCOTUS that says, actually, we've read the Voting Rights Act again and don't think that you need majority minority district.
And that's the worst part. If it goes to the Supreme Court and it's already been the Supreme Court once that said, we're good with gerrymandering. And then the second time they ignored it. And the third time they go, we've already said we're good with gerrymandering. That's the end. Like, that's the end. We will look back and realize why our democracy failed. It will be that Supreme Court decision. That was the final nail in the coffin. Because at that point, there's no chance to change anything. We will become stagnant. We will become electorally stagnant. And once that happens, there's no other option except you know what.
Now, there are Democrats, Ruben Gallego in Arizona is one of them, who say it's time to just give up on the majority minority district idea altogether, because Democrats should be in the business of maximizing how many seats they can win.
Judges say that. Did you hear what he said? The judge said, not some guy on the street corner, not some Democratic congressman, not some Democratic senator, not some Democratic pollster, not some dude in school. A judge said, well, Democrats should do this. This makes total sense. You a judge.
Go back to 1992, the first time that the South was redrawn where there were more safe black districts, Democrats lost some seats because there were safe seats in places like Birmingham, like Tallahassee, or I should say like Jacksonville, and then they were redrawn away from more competitive seats that Democrats could win. This could be a transformation in how both parties talk about it, moving away from the idea that it's about voters and fairness or about competitiveness, and it is about getting partisan advantage whenever you have power.
Yes, that's going to be the new thing. And to be forward, let's just do it then. Just stop playing. Just do it.
And Susan, let's go further on that point. It could be like an arms race here, because some Democrats are suggesting, well, if you're going to do it in Texas, we could do it in some blue states. New York has talked about it, as well as California. And there was one.
New York and California will do it. Let's not fool ourselves. They will.
Map floating around yesterday that would show redistricting of California, not an unrealistic one, that would basically wipe Republicans off the map entirely.
I told you that. That was from before. That's not a new map. That's an old map. Back after 2020, Californians actually considered drawing up a map that would remove I'm not joking, all Republicans from Congress in California. That's an old map. He thinks they just made that up. That's like 5 years old, or maybe 4 years old. Maybe that's probably 4 years old. That's a 4-year-old map. Yeah. New Yorkers had those too. In fact, but again, New York was dumb to actually try it. They're like, hey, let's give it a shot. I know California was like, let's see if it works. If it works, we'll throw ours in. Yeah.
It would just be nothing but Democratic controlled districts. We're going to a new and I would argue dangerous place here.
I would agree.
Of course, we know that some of these blue states, California and New York included, have more legal difficulties in doing kind of the freewheeling. We just want to do it so we can do it. Redistricting that we're about to see in Texas. But I wonder what voters actually think about.
I wonder what voters think. You think they give a shit what voters think? Do you think there's one of them who has? If they actually cared what voters think, they wouldn't want to gerrymander in the first place, would they? If they cared what voters think, they would do what voters want, and they wouldn't require gerrymandering. Gerrymandering, by default, allows them to not care what voters want. That's the point of gerrymandering, to ensure you don't have to care what voters want. Why in the... I wonder what voters think. Ain't nobody care about that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
This new political arms race, because the times when referenda have gotten onto state ballots to try to get rid of some gerrymandering, to try to make bring some common.
Oh, if only Roger was here to hear about ballot initiatives. You know that
sense to the way districts are drawn. They've done pretty well. And we've seen several states move toward less partisan redistricting in a way that they like. Now, voters elected this Texas governor and this Texas legislature that's about to do this. So I wonder, and Dave, maybe Dave has a view on this, I wonder what voters in Texas think.
Yeah, that's a dumb question. But anyway, I'm glad she said it. It's still nice. So it's fine. So yeah. Let me see if I can do this here. Joel says, Larry's just salty about New York judges because they bent him over the bench and gavel-arred him. True. And it's still, I'm still sore. I'm still sore, Joel. That's 3 years ago. Still hurts. Wipe a tear from my eye. Still hurts. True. Mike says, Pritzker and Hochul are pandering to DNC and donors in helping Texas Democrats. I don't think so. I think they're doing the right thing. They're getting press. I mean, Hochul, I'm going to show you in a second. Hochul did a press conference over this. She's not pandering. She's just getting press. Right? She's getting press, which is smart for her, right? Look, clearly I'm not a fan, but I'm just being honest, right? She's forward. She's getting press. She's now, I'm going to fight Trump. Oh, damn you, orange man. She's doing a bunch of that, which is what she loves doing. Newsom is doing the same thing, doing press conferences. Oh, Trump, I'll get you, as he shakes his fist in the air. They're doing that. This isn't pandering. This is them just getting more. This is them just getting more press. That's really what it is. So he goes on to say, it's about 2026 gov race and 2028 election nomination, nothing with the public. It's true. This is nothing to do with the public. Neither Gavin Newsom or they'll care about you at all. At all. You are so low on the list of priorities. I don't know if you did 3 pages of notes, you might hit the third page. Maybe. Probably not, but you might hit the third page with some hope. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Michael goes on to say, Larry, I want every Dem that ran away from their oath and obligation to be arrested and removed from office. Why am I not surprised? That tracks, Mike. That tracks. I think it's good for them. Let them go. They made the quorum rules. Do what they want. It's fine. I mean, the war's not going to end. It's you and I both know it's just show, dude. I mean, you know it's just show. They're going to come back. The Abbott's already talking about arresting them all and putting them all in jail. They would love to be arrested. Come on now. They would love that. They're not going to go to jail. I mean, they'll go to jail just as they get arrested. Then they'll get out. They're not going to go to prison. So, yeah, they would love that. They would say, see, I fought Trump. I went to jail for Trump. They would love that. They'd eat it up. If I was a Texas Democrat, I'd be like, Abbott, please arrest me. Oh, my God. Where do I have to show up to get arrested? Tell me where. I would show up to get arrested. See, oh, I fought Trump. Yeah, I got the orange man. They love that. They if he does that, he's playing right into him. They love being arrested. They love to do a whole perp walk, all of them. They have no actual power in Texas. They can't do anything. So they have to virtue signal. It's the ultimate virtue signaling. If I was advising them, I'd be like, just stay alone, just get arrested. I got you. We bail you out, get arrested. If I'm Kathy Hochul, I'm like, stay to New York until you get arrested, then go. I want them all to be arrested. It'd be amazing. Totally amazing. Remember, the Republicans like you who want them arrested, you're never going to vote for them. They don't care what you think. They just want the people who they pander to, they just want them to love them. That's what they care about. So they keep getting voted. That's it. So Roger is here. Every governor saying, hold my beer. Yep. Roger is 100% correct. Yes. Watch the gerrymandering go. Yes, absolutely. It is going to be so insane. They're going to be like, I'll teach you. I'll teach you. Hold on. I have one. Here it is. Ready?
Let the heat flow through you.
Will flow through all of them, and they will gerrymander district into oblivion. There'll be every state will be all red or all blue. That's it. Every state that they can possibly make will be all red and all blue to the best of their ability. I completely agree. I wish it was wrong. I wish you were all wrong. So yes, but then it becomes how good the elections, right? Speaking of that, if I may, speaking of that, I do want to bring something else up while I have you here talking about that. I know I often talk about the advocates, and I'm going to talk about them again. Click the link that is in the description on Rumble, description on Facebook, description on YouTube. There's a link right there. It says link to the advocates. Click on that if you would. Head on over to the single issue surveys and take the election integrity survey. Take the election integrity survey. It does matter, right? Why? Take that survey, get the results, share the results. What I always ask you, share the results, right? Please share the results so that other people will start talking about it. I want people to talk about this. I want you to have these conversations, because if people start talking about this, you can start saying, well, what about gerrymandering? And boom, you have this conversation. Well, what about third parties? Boom, you have this conversation. What about those guys in Texas? Is Mike Rice? Should they all be arrested? Boom, you have that conversation. This starts that. So take that, head on over there. Again, click the link specifically in the show description. Go take that survey. It's a couple minutes. Here's the first. If I get you the first, I'll get you the first question right now. And maybe I'm on. There we go. Okay, first question is loading. Let's see. Which of the following most closely aligns with your beliefs? Most closely. National elections are broken and out-of-date systems of political accountability. National elections are too easily stolen and voter fraud is out of control. National elections should involve more direct forms of democracy. Which one's closest to what you feel? Click that button. Move on to the next question. Answer those questions when you're done. If you haven't already, they're asking for your email, so they can send you the details in the email. And then they'll send you every couple of weeks. You'll get a little note from the advocates saying how cool they are and good libertarian stuff. And it's good, so please do so. If not, that's okay too. Just click the X. You still get your results anyway. You don't have to give them your email. Click the X. You still get it. Once you do that, share it. Please share it with the link that's there. Share it with the link that's there if you can. Why? Because it matters. The advocates are a sponsor of the show. I have two sponsors. I believe in both tremendously. That's why I talk about them. I could be out here hawking gold or investments or whatever. I'm not. I'm hawking stuff that matters to me. And this one's free. Costs you nothing. So please head on over there, take that survey, and then move forward if you would. All right, and grab some more comments. Okay. Roger says, unalive all parties, this problem goes away. All right, let me touch that piece. This is the nuance that I bring up all the time, Roger, and there's a nuance here. Constitutionally, you can't just end parties. Constitutionally. Why? Because Americans have the right to assemble as they see fit for whatever political reasons they want. So you, for constitutionally, can't erase parties. And I actually don't agree with that. I don't want to erase all parties. What I want to do is erase them from the government and election system. That's what they should not be part of. As an example, if you look back, now we print ballots. We never printed ballots before. You just put the name of the person you want to vote for on a piece of paper and you put it in. That was your vote. Then we decided to print ballots. Well, Larry, why is it bad to print ballots? Because now when a ballot's printed, the political party is printed on the ballot. What does that mean? That means the government is literally promoting political parties. That's what they're doing. And they shouldn't be promoting political parties at all. What does that mean? That means if a political party wants to produce its own ballot, and that's legal, by the way, right? You can just produce your own ballots. So if I'm a Democrat or Republican, I can produce my own ballots that I give to my own people. They check the boxes I want and they put it in. That could be done. That's totally legal. Or just the names. And that's your point. I think what you want, Roger, just the names. We didn't have to know what party they're in. Call your local party affiliate and tell them, go online, go on your phone. If you don't know who you're voting for and you want your party to tell you, I mean, I think that's dumb, but you can do it if you want to. That's legal. Do what you want. Like, hey, I don't want to pay attention. I want my party head to tell me who to vote for. Okay, you can do it if you want to, but then go online and say, who are the guys? These are my guys. Okay, I'm going to do what my party tells me to do. Fine. But why are we putting parties on the ballot? If you're going to print a ballot, you put on the ballot just the names. That's it. Don't promote the party at all. Not just that, if you're going to have a primary, the primary isn't done in the election series. It's done within the party itself. The party can create its own primary any way it wants. Doesn't want to have everybody go to the party affiliation. Doesn't want to have them vote electronically. Doesn't want to have them vote. How do you want to vote? Who cares? The party selects its own people as it sees fit. It's a private organization. Why do I need to be involved? I need to be involved. I'm not part of your party, right? I help decide who libertarians select because I'm part of the Libertarian Party. That's who should decide. You should have me saying that if you're not libertarian, and I shouldn't if I'm Republican or Democrat. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I shouldn't. So if you take them immediately away from all of the systems, I'm fine with political parties. They're private organizations. The problem is they run everything. That's the problem. They make rules. Well, we have to have one party here and one party there. What? How's that in the Constitution? It's not. They made it up. So yes. Roger goes on to say, 20 state voters don't register under a party. 20 states voters don't register under a party. Oh, okay, that's fine, but it still should be on a ballot. Don't put it on a ballot. Just the name only should be on the ballot. Just the name. If you don't know what party your guy's name of, then call someone or go online and figure it out. Or do your own homework, whatever you want to. I'm as dumb as I think it is to just blindly go by your party. That's my personal opinion. You should not go blindly by your party, but people do. You have a right to do so. No worries. Go online, print out all your people, show up, check the box for your people. Totally fine. You can do what you can go any way you want. I'm not mad at you for it. Do as you feel. So anyway, yes. Let me walk down the roof if I can. All righty. Let's see. John says, of course, Joe Scarborough isn't bright. He should earn his ex-wife and his current wife. Very funny. That's good. That's not bad. I like that. Yes, that's a good one. I got to tell you, that's good. All right. Let's see if I can grab down here some more of these. You already said that. That's good. Okay. Patty says, once again, proving to me that it's one bird, two wings. True. Phil says, you mean politicians should pick their voters? Yes. That is what I mean. I know. Crazy. Yes. All righty. Phil says, the left is going to use this to call for redistricting as a way to argue against electoral college, which is horrible. Okay. Phil, it's like you were reading my mind. I think, Phil, maybe you knew what I was going to do, because to talk about that, you can if you want to, but yet again, I'm going to pull one more thing from you know where. Oh, yes, it's civil again. There's another piece, and this one is specifically on electoral college. I found this one too. This one is just on electoral college. It's short. It's like 5 minutes. It's very short, but it explains why it exists and what value it has. And some people don't like it. Some people do like it, but this explains why, whatever the case may be, you can do so. It's called What's the Point? Electoral College. It is on civil. It's about 5 years ago, but it's still pretty good.
The purpose of the Electoral College is to give balance to the states and to extend the representation in Congress to the elections for the president.
Anastasia is going to explain it. She says so right there. You can see it.
When you vote for the president, your vote is not automatically tallied to the president.
True.
Instead, you're voting for your state's electors who have pledged to vote for their party's candidate.
Now, could you imagine if we had a different way of making that happen? You can still have electoral college work without electoral college. You could have different proportions. You could make some changes. It is possible. And I'm open to making changes. I actually am. But you have to understand what it's for before you would make that conversation. That's on Civil, civl.com. The code 50% off is LARY, Larry, $25 for the entire year. 50% off, $25 for the entire year. You get all types of cool things. Every single show, I keep showing you more cool stuff, right? You could spend forever on Civil. So I spend probably too much time. That's fine. Isn't the point? You can spend even more time if you want to on Civil, and you'll be able to speak cool stuff like I do. And best part, you get my show, Wednesday show, 7 p.m., Civil only. It's a group that's it's a very tight-knit group. That's what I would say. There we go. I think that works well. So yes, I hope that was helpful. All right. So yes, please do that if you can. Thank you, Phil, for giving me that perfect tee up. I appreciate that tremendously. Yes. All righty. John says, agreed. I want to vote on the Dems and GOP's primaries, especially if my money is contributing to their campaign by force. Yes. Yes. Andrea says, quit giving my money to parties that are corrupt and don't give me a choice. True. Yes. If you're going to tell me that I can't vote, then stop taking my money. Yes. That's it. So Josh says, can I just confess? 2 books recently read. Andrew Heaton's Tribalism is Dumb. I love Andrew Heaton. I've had him on my show multiple times. He's great. I love him. I think he's in Oklahoma now. If I'm not mistaken. I think he moved to Oklahoma. He's like from there originally, or that area. He's from the Midwest, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he's a great guy and very funny. As well as Kat Timp. Love her too. She's great. Love her too. I haven't been on a show with her in a long time. I used to Like You Until. Both are good reads. Yeah, they're both good people, and they're both funny, and they're both good. So yes, I'm not surprised. And now I gotta go read them. Yeah, give me homework. Damn it. Yes. Yes. Daniel says Nancy Pelosi even quipped that AOC's district is so blue that a glass of water with a D label on it would win. Accurate. I live in her district. That's true. Yes. Absolutely true. I wish it wasn't, but yes, that is absolutely true. Yes. Josh says your vote's a protest vote. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. Daniel says Joe Scarborough is all about Orange Man bad. He had until he went and visited him. Remember that when he won, he went and visited. Then he was like, "Oh, I can go visit." Yes. He changed his mind after that. He's like, "Oh, now I love it." Yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Okay, there is a poll out. So please, guys, pop in the poll if you can. I appreciate that. Pop in the poll on YouTube. If you happen to be on Sharpe or YouTube, check out the poll. Pop it in if you can. Yes. Josh says, if corporations can't donate, then unions shouldn't donate either. That's my point, Josh. Unions can't vote. Union vote influence goes away also. That's my point. That's how you solve it. You solve this by saying the people who can spend money, the people who can donate are those who are eligible to vote. That's it. Done. Good and good. Mastermind says Australians made all political donations illegal. Okay, the reason why that's not a good idea is twofold. Number one, that would reinforce our two-party system. And you see that right now. Because of how they control the entire system, all government funds only go to 2 major parties right now. That's how they do it. So that might work in a different system. Because of our system, it'll ensure that only Democrats and Republicans get any money. That's how it works in New York State right now. Because New York State tries to do that. It doesn't make it illegal, but it uses massive matching funds. 6-to-1 and 8-to-1 matching funds. So that it basically, unless you're a billionaire, no one else can get into play. So it's either the establishment or the very rich. And that's all that can run. That's what winds up happening if you do that. That's number one. But number two, we have a First Amendment. They don't. Our First Amendment says I have a right as a person for political speech. And how do you make that happen? Through money, right? That's how I do it. So yeah, that can't happen in America for those 2 reasons. So, but I get what you're saying, but it wouldn't work. Master goes on to say President Perot. True. Yes. Absolutely. Yep. All righty. So I go down here. Phil says, yes, corporations own more guns and sell cheap guns. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. That's not bad. I like that idea. Yes. Kim says, Supreme Court is bought and paid for And corporations vote and let our presidents in the back room, when they're making those big donations, they vote with their wallet. Well, corporate leadership, I would say. Corporate leadership does. Yes, absolutely. Very, very true. Yes. John says, Orange Man Bad still proves to be the best fundraising strategy. It will for a long time. That's why they use it. That's why they use it. They use it because it works. They don't use it, it doesn't work. And you might go, well, Larry, it doesn't work to win. They don't care about winning. They care about raising money. And it works to raise money. That's the issue. It works to raise money. And that's why they keep using it. That's sad. But as long as they have that, as long as they have that, they don't have to have any policies that make any sense. Not required. I can just go, I'm going to stop Trump. Give me money. I'm going to stop Trump. And it works. Mastermind goes on to say, when you make peaceful protests impossible, you make violent protests inevitable. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh, you got it, Mastermind. Anybody got time for that? You did pick up. Thank you. Some of you know what that is. That was nice. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Andrew, how are you, my friend? It's been a while. It has. Long time no here. My take on gerrymandering, quit rearranging where people live. What? It's confusing the old generation, and nowhere in the Constitution says it's legal. As a moderately liberal Democrat, I don't agree with gerrymandering. Oh, good. I'm glad. There we go. Yes, I'm with you. Yes. Mastermind says maybe they get their own Trump mugshot. They'll put on a shirt like him. They will absolutely put on a shirt like him. There's no doubt they would. 100%. They would just put on a shirt and act just like him. Yep. Mastermind now says RCB for the win. True. But something else you can do. You could do proportional leadership, proportional representation. Do that also. Proportional means that instead of just having, as an example, instead of saying one district, one rep, you could meld districts. You could say, instead of, Queens getting one rep, you could say New York City gets 6 or 7, however we get. We get what, 8 or 9, whatever New York City gets. I think New York gets 9, whatever the number is. 10? I'm going to say 10. I forgot what we get. Whatever. New York City gets 10. And then you vote. And then by the party, it's proportional. So if out of 10 seats, 10% of the people voted for libertarians get 1 seat, right? 8 voted for whatever, 7 voted for Democrats 7 seats. 2 voted for Republicans get 2 seats. That's proportional. I'm not saying you should do it that way, but that is a way of doing it. Some places do it. Now, sadly, it's against the law to do it for Congress. I think if I remember right, the Whigs back in the 1800s were scared of losing seats because the Republicans were beating their ass. So they changed the rules to make sure that the Republicans couldn't grow. It didn't work. Republicans actually beat the Whigs and the Whigs were gone. But in an attempt to stop it, they made that rule. So there is a rule or a law now where one congressperson has to have 1 district. That's actually a law now, which is stupid, but it's true. We have to erase that and allow states to do whatever they want to do. States should, as long as the state has its number, they should make the number any way they want. And if a state wants to proportional, they should be able to if they want to. And some people don't like it, but I don't care. Why does the federal government decide? Right? New York State is supposed to get 25, if I'm not mistaken? 25 representatives. How New York State decides that, why does the federal government care? Parties care. And that goes back to my point. The parties care. Well, the parties shouldn't be part of the Constitution or part of the government. They're private organizations. The parties shouldn't have any say. The state should decide, we like it, 1 person, 1 district, okay. Or we want to make proportional. We want to make the entire state proportional. We want to make New York City proportional or whatever. Let the state decide how it wants to send its 25 reps to DC. I love the idea of making it to where it's proportional. So New York has 25 as an example. Let everybody vote how they want to vote and then portion it out. Then gerrymandering no longer matters. Gerrymandering goes away. Right? Say right now, that would help Republicans right now in New York State, and it would help independent parties. Because if you just voted, right, for people and then counted up all the parties that you got, New York would easily get at least 1 libertarian. Easily. Right? I polled at 6% last time I ran. Right? That's what, 1 in, so my math, that's 1 in 20? No. 1 in 18? Is that about right? It's about 1 in 18. Well, if we got 25 seats, I'm going to get 1. Libertarians get 1 seat. It's not a bad idea. Right now, there's hardly any Republicans out of New York State. But if you did an actual vote, you probably get 40% Republicans. Well, Republicans want to get in 10, 11 seats. So Republicans would get more seats if we did that way. You get one libertarian, probably a green too. You probably get one libertarian, one green. You probably get an actual conservative, not a Republican. You probably get an actual conservative. You probably get a working families or socialist. You probably get one of those too, like DSA type. You get one of those. And the rest would be Republicans, Democrats. It'd be a better mix. New York would be better represented if we have a proportional representation. I think it's absolutely possible if you want to do something like that. It could work. Again, I'm not saying we should do it. I'm saying the federal government shouldn't decide. States should decide as they want. Look at somebody like Wyoming. Wyoming might do very well with that. All right.
About what's about to happen there.
There has not been a lot of polling specifically in Texas yet, but you're right that when this is presented to voters and the question is, do you want politicians to draw districts where they can never lose? That loses. So the way that Republicans beat an anti-gerrymandering measure in Ohio last year, it helped that Donald Trump was on the ballot, but they have the power to rewrite the way.
Now, this is the point that Roger brings up, right? And he's right on this. Officially, do we have ballot initiatives in New York? We do. But New York State doesn't allow me or Roger to write it. That's not how that works, right? So who writes it? Well, the brain dead chimps in our assembly write it, or their lackeys, one or the other. They write it. So they write it in a way that fits whatever they want versus me or Roger writing in a way that people might actually say something. This is his point. They write it in a way where it goes, do you want to make sure that the evil people do evil things? Well, no. Okay, then no. That's
language for the ballot initiative, and they wrote it so that it sounded like it was pro gerrymandering. They said it was going to take taxpayer funded money and let bureaucrats draw things so that you wouldn't have a voice in this. That when it is presented as you don't really get to choose who represents you, one party is going to be in power forever. Yes, voters do reject that, but it's state to state. Michigan, for example, you can put a ballot initiative in front of voters. Democrats did that. Got nonpartisan redistricting, hard to undo. Colorado, hard to undo. And talking to Democrats, my colleague and I, Burgess Everett, talking to Democrats this week, Democrats from states that passed these independent commissions were reluctant to say, let's throw it out and let's have perhaps every 2 years trench warfare where we try to redraw the maps and get new districts.
The only way to stop this is judges. That's what I've been saying. It's the only way. Dave has a twofer here. He says, Larry, all that Texas has to do is change the rules as to what a quorum is to match the number of Republicans in the state legislature. Yes, accurate. Yes, but that isn't always easy. It depends upon how their bylaws need to be changed. I don't know what their process is, but yeah, you're right. Why ask Democrats in Texas for permission to change the makeup of the districts in Texas? Well, yeah, but the problem is the current quorum is not that. They'd have to get the Democrats in first and then vote to change that rule, which I don't doubt, Dave, that they'll do next week. I don't doubt it. You're exactly right. They just hadn't done it yet. So yes. Robert says, to Larry's point about California wanting to redistrict Republicans out of office, Republicans should be cursing Abbott to high heaven because they've actually made ground in many California locales. That's 100% true. New York too, right? Because people are moving. The problem with the Democratic world is, while there are more Democrats, they tend to all get together in the same areas. So yeah, absolutely. So any case. All righty. Robert says, meanwhile, third parties should both be mad because this will undoubtedly hurt third parties the most. True. That's why I'm so mad. Josh says, without the electoral college, big states like California, Texas, Florida, New York would decide the election. Don't they already? Don't they already? I'm not sure. You could make it's possible. It's possible that you could change electoral rules without necessarily destroying the college. An example of that is Maine and Nebraska. You could make a rule I think will be fair. I'll give you an example. New York State, I think, has 27, I think. Is that right? 27 total electoral college votes. I'm not sure if it's changed. I think it's 27. I'm going to say 27. I forgot. 26? I'm going to say 27. I don't know if it is. I'm going to say 27. So you can make a rule that might say something like this. whatever party wins the state gets half. Then the rest is proportional by vote. So say as example, New York State has 27. Democrats win. Okay. They get half. 27 and a half is 13 and a half. So we round up or down, whatever the rule is. Sake of argument, you round up. So Democrats get 14. And then 13 is divided up by the percentage. And let's say it went about 60-40. So then say, was it 8 and 5? Is that about right? So 8 more go to Democrats and 5 go to Republicans. So then 14 plus 8, 22 will go to Democrats, 5 go to Republicans. Why would that matter? Here's what would matter. There'd be a reason for Republicans to actually do something in New York State. There'd be a reason for them to come here and do something. Why? Because there's 5 votes or more up for grabs. Even more in California. There's a reason for Democrats to do something. There's a reason for Democrats to do something in New York State because they don't want to lose all those votes. It would force people to go to other places to gain. So you could still keep the college, which I get the reason for the college, of course, is to make sure that people have reason to go to other states. People care about, smaller states. It makes sense. I'm not against that concept. So you can still make changes to where the electoral college still has value and can still support small states, but still allow the states to not just be one size fits all and winner take all. You can't make laws like that. And those aren't against the law. You can do it if you want to. I think they're great. I think those ideas are great ideas. I would do a lot of that. So yes. Joel says, Chuck Schumer is going on an Orange Man Bad tour. Of course. Yes. 100%.
Yes, the ability is there, and voters don't like this, but that's the point of gerrymandering. Voters in North Carolina keep voting for Democratic governors, and Republicans have drawn the state as such that they're basically unable to elect a Democratic legislature.
There we go. So Mike says has 13. Okay, there we go. I thought it was like 10. I forgot which ones it was. There we go, 13. So thank you for that. I wasn't sure how many. So maybe you just give them 13 and divvy it up that way. 13. Got a shot. Maybe you get a libertarian at maybe. Maybe. You might get a libertarian at 13. I'm not sure. At like 18, you get one. 13, maybe. We can hope, Mike. We might get one libertarian. Maybe. We'll see. So who knows? Gene says, this is a great show. Gerrymandering is so unfair. My voting place changed in our last gerrymandering. Now I go past my former polling place to get the new one. Yeah, because they made it like a snake. Of course. Yes, they made it like a snake. That was the whole point. So yes. All righty. Let me grab here. Let's see here. Rising for $2. More indies in New York legislature to make New York a CBI state. CBI is a citizen ballot initiative. So more independence in New York legislature to make. Yeah, look. I agree. I do, Roger. But the problem is getting on the ballot's freaking impossible. If I run next year, I got to push to make sure that we get on the ballot. That's the critical piece. So we have a reason and a way to run. So looking over on Rumble, Sharpe fan says, is it wrong? It is wrong and must stop across the board. Democrats are much better at gerrymandering than Republicans. Add all the extra seats they're getting for non-citizens, including little aliens, makes Congress very lopsided when compared to the U.S. citizens of each state. Yeah, it's an issue. Sharpe fan's correct. It's an issue. And when you start making changes for the census and start adding people, and again, Democrats adding people who are migrants, there is a precedent for this. It isn't crystal clear. So that's the issue, right? It isn't crystal clear on what that actually means. Just so people are aware of that. It is not crystal clear. All righty. Let me grab some more. You guys have so many. I do appreciate all the super chats and appreciate all the comments here. So, all righty. We took care of that. Now, let me go a little bit further on this one, and I'm almost done with this one. But you know what? I think let me go a little further on this one. Then we'll back
and John Heilman, just so those that haven't followed this closely understand exactly the consequences of this. Well, take a look at Wisconsin, which after the 2010 election started gerrymandering their districts in Wisconsin to favor Republicans every way possible. It got to a point where you would have state legislative races are the tallies that would be about 50-50.
Yep.
And yet Republicans would control 65% of the state legislature. I mean, it is so grossly unrepresentative, so unfair. It's a sort of thing, it seems to me, that if we're going to do this, we need to have a national pact. We've got to figure out how to do this nationally.
But it isn't crazy. You can just change it. This guy's going nuts. Roger says, just researched it. Case law from 1958. SCOTUS decision, Alabama versus NAACP. That included partisan organizations as part of the First and Fourth Amendment. I say push it again as a citizen ballot initiative amendment to state constitution. I'm not sure where you're going with this. You want to make partisan organizations as part of the First and Fourth Amendment? I think they already are, aren't they? I think they already are. I'm not sure what you want with this one, Roger. I'm not sure where you're going with this one. I mean, I'll be making them able to vote. I'm not sure where you're going with this one.
Because we all know what's coming. More and more voters every year becoming independents. And this sort of gerrymandering only seals the fate for Democrats and Republicans alike.
Yes.
Right.
It destroys the independent movement. It does.
And Joe, to the point, I mean, it really is this kind of war of all against all that we're headed towards here. And one of the main ways in which the Trump era has changed our politics. This consideration of
that's Trump's fault, Mike. See, before Trump, there was no gerrymandering. See that? MSNBC. You never disappoint. You never disappoint, MSNBC. You never disappoint. Ever.
There are the legal quandaries and difficulties because of the independent commissions that got set up in a lot of these Democratic states. But the pressure coming on Democrats who are frustrated with the lack of fight that they see in their leadership. So
the party's broken. So Trump bad?
Pressure coming on driven by people like Beto O'Rourke and by large parts of the given voice by Beto O'Rourke, but driven by the Democratic base that says, California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, these are all places where the pressure is now on, and you have Hakeem Jeffries now getting involved in this kind of
because he's a good leader,
taking increasingly the view that we are suckers if we don't try to in some ways mimic what Donald Trump and Republicans have done, which is to basically say this is not about anything other than political power. And Jonathan said a second ago that it was disturbing. I think where this is headed is to a very ugly place. But again, there are a lot of Democrats who say we're already in that ugly place. And
this is the point. He's right. That is my biggest worry. That once people just realize how dark this is and there's no chance, then things become bad. Then things go bad. Last piece I want to bring up, if I could, is this is a little bit of I had to do some. I know you guys were missing it. I had to do some. I didn't want to start with it because it would have driven you all crazy and nobody would have stayed. So I had to make sure I did at the end a little bit more of, yes, she is absolutely going to be here. I have to give you a little bit of Queen. Oh, where'd you go? There we go. Of Queen Kathy. A little bit. This is her talking. It'll only be a few minutes. It's a half hour. I'm not doing a half hour. I'm doing like a couple minutes. That's all.
First of all, I hosted them at the governor's residence early this morning to make sure they're well fed with New York food.
See, I told you that. You wondered what was happening. You said, what is it? What are they doing while they go there? Yeah, they go there so they can be literally taken care of. That's the issue.
As well as giving them the opportunity to see a home that Franklin Roosevelt once lived in. For inspiration, as I'm inspired every day about knowing who we're fighting for and who we're fighting against.
See that?
These brave public servants are taking a step.
See, Mike, these are brave public servants. How can you call them criminals? She's expressing to you who they are. They are brave public servants. See that?
A strong stand against a blatant power grab that's happening in their state as we speak.
See that? That's who they are, Mike. You think they're something else. They're brave freedom fighters who are taking a stand against the Orange Man. See that?
And this will have implications, not just in Texas, but for our entire nation and its future.
The whole world. Minor threats got it. Fleeing is brave. It's true. The bravest of us flee. You're right. Exactly. The bravest of us flee. Yeah. Look how bravely he runs away. Run away! He's so brave. Yes. John says free lunches for kids is one thing. Free lunches for bureaucrats and their cronies is another. See, that's next level, New York. That's why I got to go to New York and Texas, because that's next level. That's why. Yes, that's next level.
First of all, by breaking quorum, using a legitimate form of government, correct? We've talked about this.
It's a legitimate form of government. She's not dumb.
This is not breaking the law. This is a legitimate process that has been used.
See, that mic is legitimate. She says so. How can you call me illegal? Our governor is telling us that these people are freedom fighters, they run away bravely, and that this is a legitimate form of government, whatever that means. She's just told you that. So what's your problem, Mike? Listen to our governor. I'm sorry. Listen to our Lord and Master. Listen to our queen. She's telling you what's up. God, listen up.
By breaking quorum and being here today, these legislators are getting into what John Lewis might call good trouble.
Wait, well,
Good trouble.
Hold on. How are they in trouble if they do everything that's legal and everything? Wait, which one is it? Now I'm confused.
Well, it's the best kind of trouble. You know why? Because now that you have the Attorney General, the Texas Attorney General,
Yeah.
who, by the way, is obsessed with going after doctors in our state who are simply providing medication, abortion assistance to people who are.
That's it. They're just providing medication in my state. And they're obsessed. She is not obsessed with Trump at all. She's not upset. Stop saying she's obsessed with Trump. She's not obsessed with Trump. Okay, she's not. Okay. That crazy guy in Texas, he's upset with the medicine that New Yorkers are giving people. But she's not obsessed at all.
Are denied that by their own states. Now he's threatened to arrest each and every one of them if they don't return to Austin.
See that?
But they're being asked to return to vote for a radical redrawing of the congressional lines. That were
See these radicals? Stop, Mike. You don't get it. They're going to go back. They're going to be forced to vote. They're going to be forced to vote. These are assembly people, and they're forced to vote. Have you no heart, Mike? Have you no heart? You are so cruel. These freedom fighters who bravely ran away, they have to go back and vote. And here you are, Mike, acting like, God, you're a monster. You are a
already
monster,
adopted.
Mike.
They're being
Monster.
adopted in favor of Republicans.
Oh, can't have that.
And of course, where did this come from?
Where'd it come from?
Well, Donald Trump came up with this scheme,
What?
perhaps with some help with AI. I don't know.
No, this is the Orange Man. He did it. I'm glad she's not obsessed with Orange Man. See, that's just more proof that she's not upset because that's radical. See that? That's the problem.
But they have literally redrawn 5 congressional districts,
Yeah.
primarily representing communities of color
See that, you racist?
that need the representation.
They need
they've
it.
drawn-
The rest of you guys don't. You white guys don't need it. Okay? You white people, you don't need representation. Only people of color do. To get it. I don't understand you people. John says, didn't her AG go after the president for small improvement claims? Okay. All right. Let me try to get it clear, John. She's just said she's not obsessed. Okay? She's not obsessed. Just saying. She's not obsessed, even though she blamed Trump. That's right. Yes. 100%. Terry says, I'm glad I live in Florida. She says, you mean they're being forced to do their job? Yes, cruelly, radically, Gene. They're radically being forced to do their job. But you guys have no heart for these poor freedom fighters bravely running away people. They bravely ran away.
Racist lines to
Racist lines.
disenfranchise millions of Texans.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me be clear. Is this about getting Trump elected, or is this just, getting the people he wants elected, or is it about racism? Yeah, it's racism, of course, right? Of course, right? Yes. Had to be. Again, never fail to deliver. Never fails to deliver. Ever.
So what does this have to do with the state of New York?
Good point.
It's a good question.
It is a good
I'll
question.
tell you this.
Tell me.
The last 6 months,
Yeah.
Donald Trump and his cowardly Republican enablers have pursued an agenda.
You was no cowardly Republican enablers. You hear that? She's not obsessed. Okay, stop it. Stop it, John. She's not obsessed. Because Trump and his powerful enablers. That's the problem. Phil says, how can people of color use computers to resist Queen Kathy without Queen Kathy helping them? True. That's true. See, she's going to help me use my computer, and then I can then I can bravely run away. Once I get my, swim away if she's trying to swim first. Okay, first you got to teach me how to use a computer, then teach me how to swim. Then I can bravely run away, right? So we have work to do is what I'm saying. Meanwhile, the orange man and his evil people are now racist. I think something. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
See?
That has destroyed all we hold dear in this country.
It's destroyed all that we hold dear. Everything that we have hold dear is gone because of Trump. Why can't you see that, Phil? Why are you so blinded by your hatred and don't understand that she is not obsessed, that she would literally just now said, this is the governor of New York, just said Trump and his racist people have destroyed everything that we hold dear. Like abortions. She said that. I wish I was making it up. You just heard her say it.
It's harmed the American people, but also the people I represent in the state of New York. They've denied life-saving health.
Because New Yorkers are not Americans. They denied life-saving
care to millions of people. They've denied food to poor children.
Denied food.
Why?
Poor children.
All this to give tax breaks to their billionaire buddies.
See that? These people, she doesn't give any money to her billionaire buddies. No, she doesn't. She doesn't do that. So stop saying that. She doesn't do that. And this Trump, the orange man, his people, why do they hate children? You would think that after all this time, you'd have something new. Nothing new. This is my governor. Not a damn thing new. It's billionaire buddies and poor kids and same thing, and racism.
And also now they're crushing the middle class with tariffs, which are simply poorly disguised taxes. We're hearing the news today.
You know, she hates taxes. You know that. That's true. She cannot stand, she hates them taxes. She's true. She's basically libertarian. She's basically a libertarian is what she is. Basically libertarian right there. She crushed the middle class with tariffs and taxes because she's always hated them, except she has always loved them, except now that Trump does them and therefore they're bad by default. So yes, but that's fine because she's not obsessed. Even though this was about Texas redistricting and she's doing a diatribe on Trump. This is about Texas redistricting. Her diatribe is on Trump. But John, she's not obsessed.
How everything is going to go up. A backpack that you could have bought for just $30 in May is now $50 for moms and dads getting ready for back to school shopping. That's
that's because Trump. That's Trump's fault. It's not because New York sucks. It's Trump's fault. Yes. Joel says children are going to bed hungry. To fix this, Trump will go away to bed. I like that. That's good. You got me laughing. Nicely done. See? Here we go. Done. John says she's the last person about helping billionaires since she's helping billionaires build a new stadium on a taxpayer dime. That's true. She's literally giving $800 million to billionaires. But see, here's a difference, John. She cares about children. Okay? She does. Her and her cronies care about black people. See? Phil's got the point. Children would be going to bed hungry if they were aborted. He's not wrong. See? Because she cares. Because she cares. You get the feeling. And she's smart and not obsessed. She's smart, not obsessed.
Direct impact on New Yorkers and Americans. But also at the same time, in our states and many others, are sending masked, armed individuals to snatch law-abiding residents off the streets as their own children scream in terror. That is,
I thought this was about gerrymandering in Texas. I thought that's what it was about. So now you ask that question. Why are they coming to New York? To get this. Mike, this is my point. It's not about pandering. It's not about pandering. It's just about getting on TV and saying orange man bad and raising money. That's all this is. TV time for her. And she can say, I'm fighting Trump. See, look at me. I'm fighting Trump. I'm strong. That's it. I mean, she looks like a fool, but that doesn't matter. Yes, absolutely. So Derek says she's dumb as rocks. Look, to be forward, just so I can be clear, I'm not a fan of Cuomo. Clearly, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not. Cuomo's smarter. He's savvier. It's just true. She's true. Mike goes, resident, not citizen. Yes. Oh, she used that word specifically. Her people wrote that in, Mike. You caught that? I caught that too. Her people wrote that word in. Don't say New Yorker, say resident, because she's not wrong. She almost complicated legal aliens with citizens and settled on resident criminals getting rewarded. Yes, not wrong. Yes, that was well done, right? See, I tell you, and I'll tell everybody, Democrats have good rhetoric. Like they know the word. Remember when Eric Adams, before he was like done, he was like asylum seeker crisis. I was like, nicely done. They know how to make the words. They do. They're good at that. That's one of their skill sets.
It's happening on the streets of our great country.
See that? This is all about, I thought I thought kids, no. It's not about, it's a kid, no. Okay, it's about abort, no. Oh, right. It's about the Texas redrawing stuff. Right.
So people are basically disgusted.
They're
They're disgusted with this trampling of their basic human rights. Rights that we've
Their basic rights. These are basic rights here.
always cherished and fought for in this country.
Always have
And
done
that is precisely why New York has a strong interest in what is occurring almost across the country in Texas.
That's why.
And I have news flash for Republicans in Texas.
Oh, she got newsflash. Okay, Republicans, listen up. She's got something to say. Remember, Kathy Hochul has told us more than once she speaks to God. I wish I was joking. I'm not. So maybe God told her something. So listen up, okay? She's going to give you something. Go ahead.
This is no longer the Wild West.
Oh.
We're not going to tolerate our democracy being stolen in a modern day stagecoach hoist by a bunch of law-breaking cowboys.
She just can't talk well and doesn't know how to keep looking. It's a hoist. I know it is. So we're not going to tolerate you stealing democracy. So we're going to steal it first. I'm not joking. She's literally going to say, we're not going to tolerate you stealing it. So we'll steal it first. That's what her goal is.
Boys, Americans don't want a system that's stacked against them.
We
They
don't.
believe in
Okay.
fairness. It's fundamental.
Okay. I like that.
And I'll tell you this, they're done with the chaos.
She keeps looking down. Because she's not good off the cuff at all. She's terrible off the cuff. Derek said, Larry, get God's phone number from him. I will. I'll get his number. I'll text him. I don't want to, I don't want to talk to God directly so much like she does. Actually, God talks to her. So I don't know. I need that one. I need to come this way a bit more.
They're done with the cruelty. And I would say they're ready to vote Republicans out of power in Washington, certainly in the upcoming 2026 elections.
Okay.
Republicans know this. They've seen the polls.
Okay.
They know they're sliding downhill because Americans are rejecting their policies.
That's what
So
it
this is why they're fighting.
Even though, if I remember right, Democrats are at the lowest polling ever. Just saying. Yeah. Yes. John says, I've said this hundreds of times. The reason she never announced to the public where she's going, she knows she can't face any criticism. Very true. She's bad at that. Yes. Josh says, Queen Kathy is libertarian when it's convenient for her. This is true. It's literally true. She actually does that. Yes. Becky says, Lara likes to torture us sometimes. This is as pleasant as watching The View. Yes, but you get my commentary, which makes it a little bit better, right? A little bit better. That's all. Yes. Mike, thank you for the numbers. I knew you'd have the numbers. Yes. Look, are Trump's numbers going down? As of recently, yes. It doesn't mean people all of a sudden hate him. Currently, they are going down. That's accurate. It doesn't mean all of a sudden that he's being rejected. He might be. He might get killed in 2026. Not figuratively. Figuratively. Damn it. Now I'm going to get canceled. Figuratively, the Republicans might get killed in 2026. Maybe. I don't know. That's possible. But it doesn't mean they're done. But when it comes to polling, Dems are way worse right now than Republicans. Right? That's how it is right now at the moment. So, yes. Figuratively.
They know they'll lose the elections, but to subvert the will of the people, they're hell-bent on rigging the system.
See,
rigging the system is un-American.
You mean like you did in 2021 or 2022? Which one of those?
Congressional districts are never redrawn mid-decade as they are.
She can't say because she was doing it. Like they were. I was there when you were doing it.
But here they are. flagrantly breaking the rules so they can hold on to power.
See that? That's why. She doesn't care about power. Republicans do, not her.
And with that power, they're going to inflict even more pain.
More pain, because that's what they
They'd
care about.
rather
Pain.
eliminate fairness in the system.
I'm kind of curious. People are like leaving Texas because it's so much pain. Oh, wait, no, it's growing. Well, they're staying in New York because it's so good. Oh, no, wait, they're leaving. Huh. It's almost as if you're the one inflicting pain. I mean, that obviously can't be right. So there must be something wrong with the numbers. We'll have to check those numbers out because some reason it looks like you're the one inflicting pain, but who knows?
That they proceed knowing they're going to lose. They'd rather silence voters than serve them.
See, like you do. You serve them. No.
From my perspective,
Tell me.
to refuse to stand up and fight for our democracy as we are joining in solidarity with our friends from Texas means
Go
one
ahead.
thing. You won't fight for democracy, you're doomed to lose it.
See, this is what you guys don't get. If you don't fight by running away if you don't bravely run away, then you're not going to be fighting for democracy and you're going to lose it. See? So what she'll do is she will then gerrymander all her stuff to make sure there's more Democrats and Republicans and not give you any choice in voting at all. That's how she will save democracy for you. So there we go.
250 years, our democratic experience has been fought for.
Yeah.
And it's endured.
Has
As
it?
governor of a state where many of those early battles took place, we're commemorating them next year.
What are you even saying?
Those battles for freedom were here. That's why I cannot
guess.
stand by
Oh,
and let
you
this
can't stand
happen.
by. Okay.
While Donald Trump and his co-conspirator, Greg Abbott.
See that? Donald Trump and the co-conspirator? She is not obsessed with Donald Trump, John. Will you stop? She's not. Why don't you just listen to her? It's because him and his co-conspirators are conspirating, because that's what they do. Conspirators.
Erode our democracy and drag us toward authoritarianism.
See, she can't even say. She can't say it not because she's dumb. I mean, she's dumb, but that's not why she can't say it. She can't say it because this is utterly just being rehearsed and she doesn't believe any of it. She doesn't believe any of it. Any of it. She's like, what can I say so I could try to make myself look good so I can maybe win this next election? That's it. Dave says, Larry, the blue states will just retaliate. Blue states gerrymander, and they'll gerrymander more. Yes. Yeah, but see, here's what you don't get, Dave. You see, you guys don't get this. That's how you keep democracy. See, you keep democracy by making sure everything's so gerrymandered that democracy is never used. See, if you don't use democracy, you save it. See, you didn't understand how it works, Dave. They're saving democracy. You don't get any. Nobody gets any. They're saving it all for themselves. They're saving democracy. You thought they weren't, but they were. So now the Democrats are going to make sure you don't get any democracy. They're saving it. They are literally saving democracy. Can I have some democracy? No, I'm saving it. We can't give you any of that. Done. You don't get democracy. I'm saving it.
Now, what Texas and Republican states are doing at the direction of Donald Trump.
At the direction of Donald Trump. Doesn't matter. She's not. Will you stop saying that she's obsessed? She's not. This is about redistricting or Donald Trump or something. I forgot. Whatever.
I say is nothing short of a legal insurrection.
She used the I
against our
word.
capital.
It's a legal one. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's a legal one. This one's legal. The other one wasn't. This one is legal. That's it. John's like, see, she's totally not obsessed with him. She's not. Will you guys stop saying it? Just stop. She's not obsessed at all. This is about gerrymandering and saving something. It's not about him.
Legal meaning they're using the legal process. Does not mean it's legal. And it must.
Yes, legal doesn't mean it's legal. Okay. Okay. Becky, she said legal. Doesn't mean it's legal. Get with the program, you people. Why aren't you paying attention?
Be stopped. The Republicans are willing to rewrite these rules to give themselves an advantage.
What?
Then they're leaving us no choice.
No choice.
We must do the same.
See? They leave you no choice. So now I'm going to make sure that I out gerrymander them. They're being authoritarian. And I got no choice. I got to do triple authoritarianism. That's it. That's how I save democracy. See? Dave gets it. Larry is saying democracy being rationed. Yes, how else can I save it? You didn't think about that, did you, Dave? See? That's because you're selfish. And you want all the democracy for yourself. You want democracy like every time you vote. That's what you want. That's because you're greedy. I don't know why you hate the children. Stop being so greedy, Dave, okay? You get democracy every once in a while. God, like you want every day or something. You're going to get democracy once in a while when Queen Kathy allows you to have some. She's very busy saving it. So when she's saving it, you don't get it. Well, don't be so greedy, you people. All right. You're so greedy when you want democracy every day.
There's a phrase, you have to fight fire with fire.
See that? You got to burn them all. That's the answer. There's a phrase you never heard of. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Got to fight. So I'm just going to, you gerrymander, I'll triple.
That is a true statement of how we're feeling right now.
It is.
And as I've said, another overused but applicable phrase, all's fair in love and war.
All's fair.
I'm exploring with our leaders.
This is why you don't get democracy, Dave, because all's fair and love and war. This is war, and we got to stop Trump. So whatever happens, happens.
Every option to redraw our state congressional lines as soon as possible. Our state legislative leaders, Carol Heastie, Majority Leader Andre Stewart Cousins.
And those two people, Hastings and Cousins, they are horrible human beings. They're just terrible people. And I mean that personally. They're just bad people. They just really are. And I mean that I mean that as a personal attack. They are horrible human beings. They have wrecked this state for years and just keep wrecking it and just keep destroying it. They were destroying it under Cuomo, destroying it under her. They're just terrible. So, see, Jay knows it. She would never dream of using gerrymandering, ever. She would never even imagine that. But she has no choice. She's trapped. She's trapped, guys. Don't you feel for her? I feel trapped. I do. Jill says, I'll double dogmander. See, you thought you were going to get me with gerrymandering. I'm double dog gerrymandering. I'm doing all the things. Yes, that's correct. Yes. So Mike says, why does Texas state governance have to do with New York? Hogan does not represent Texas. She better represents New York Dems. Okay. You're not paying attention, Mike. All right? You're not paying attention. She has to save democracy. You are greedy and you want to have all your democracy like Dave. If you and Dave weren't so greedy, always wanting democracy, then you know that she could save it for you. And then when you need it, she'll give you a little bit, not a lot. She'll give you a little bit of democracy because you're saving it. She's going to save democracy for you. She'll give you some. Okay, she's the queen who speaks to God. You think you know something? You think you know something? Are you a queen or king? No, she is. Okay? So that's how that works. She knows better. Stop being jealous. That's why. And she's not obsessed with Trump at all. She's saving democracy. She's fighting fire with fire. That sounds great. I think that whatever that thing, she's doing that. You're not fighting fire with fire. You're not a firefighter. She is. Done. See? Give the program, Mike. Give the program.
They're on board, as are their members.
See?
We're already working on a legislative process, reviewing our legal strategies, and we'll do everything in our power to stop this brazen assault.
It's a brazen assault, Mike. Well, she's going to stop it.
These are profiles in courage.
See, these people are profiles in courage. They are literally running away braver than you've never seen somebody run away braver. Have you? Huh, Mike? Have you seen somebody run away from their state and their responsibilities braver than these people? I bet you haven't. I bet you've never seen somebody run away from their responsibilities and their people faster than these guys and as bravely as these guys. You've never seen it once. Not even one time. Profiling courage.
They left their homes.
They left their homes. These are families. John says it, stunning and brave. It's true. They're all stunning and brave. Every one of them stunning and brave. Accurate. John, finally, John, you get it. You finally get it. It took you some time. But yeah, Mike, you gonna come aboard or not, man? You gonna come aboard and get it? They're all stunning and brave. They bravely ran away.
Families left their loved ones in a world of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But our history is defined by people who are brave patriots.
Who run
who
away.
Not accept the status quo.
They will just
who believe
run.
They must use their voices and their positions to stand up for others.
I remember the stories of the Revolutionary War. When the British came and we all ran away, that's how we won. We ran away bravely. And that is how we won. Yes, I remember that. That was the issue. You know, hey, we can't all bravely run away. So, all right, hold on. Let me see if I can get this one here. Hold on. I'm going to find this piece if I can. Do I have it here? All right.
He's buggered off. So he has. He's scarpered.
Hold on. There we go. There we go. I found it. Some of you will know this immediately. Let me see if I can find it. Some of you will know this immediately. I will pop this in real fast. Some of you will remember this. Some of you won't, but some of you will. Let me see if I can pop this in. Some of you will get a good laugh out of this one because this is the true profile in courage.
Run away. No! Bravely ran away. I didn't. When danger reared its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail. No! Yet brave Sir Robin turned about. I didn't. He chickened out, bravely taking. I never did. He beat a very brave retreat. Oh, Lord! The brave Sir Robin. I never.
He bravely ran away. See that? Some of you truly enjoyed that. Yes, that was indeed Monty Python. I thought you liked that. Yes, of course you knew it was Sir Robin. Of course you did. Yes, it was indeed Sir Robin. That is true. So yes, some of you would enjoy that. But that's what happened. That's a profile in courage. And the best part about that is she's saying that straight-faced. Like she's not even, like she's seriously. She's like, yes, look at this. She believes it. She's not even joking. She's not even joking. She's like, yep, that's totally true. This is what we should always be doing. Why aren't we all doing this?
Prouder to have an opportunity to meet them, each and every one of them, and hear their personal stories. And I thank them so much for making this journey. You are on the right side of history.
Right. You can see right side of history. You ran away.
And you're not
right
alone.
Side. No.
We are in solidarity with each and every one of you and your colleagues.
Every one of you.
In another state, hosted by my great friend, J.B. Pritzker, who welcome you as well.
See that?
As I said,
he'll do another cool thing. He will.
History will judge us on how we respond to this moment.
On how we run away.
But here in New York, we will not stand on the sidelines with the timid souls.
We will not do that. The timid
on
people.
The sidelines who don't care.
We will not be timid. We will just openly run away. 100%.
Will not invest their heart and soul into this battle. This is a war. We are at war.
Think about what she's saying. And I'm serious. Think about what she's saying. She keeps saying we are at war. We're fighting, taking our rights, destroying everything we hold sacred. Remember all that stuff she said? These are the words she's using over gerrymandering, which now she is going to do. Terrible.
And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on. With that, let me turn it over to our great speaker, Kyle Hasty.
Oh, God, he's a horrible human being. I'm not going to talk to him. We're done. I can't go any further. That was enough. I punished you guys enough. I don't want to go any further now. And I do want to ask one thing. No, please click the like button. If you like me teasing my governor, then please click the like button if you like it. If you like me going back and forth with that teasing Mike too. I do like teasing Mike also. I do. If you like that, please click the like button. It does matter. Please repost this if you have not. Share this if you have not. Please do so, guys. Also, if you want to, I love when you guys do super chats, but you can also become a member if you want to. I'm asking for membership constantly. Yes, I am. I'm bugging you. Please, if you want to, head over to Sharpe Way YouTube. Click that join button. It's $49 per month. The more I get here, the less I have to work. The more I can come here earlier. I can have stories and stuff ready. I can be better at doing this. The more time I can spend on this, the better show we get. How it works. So that's why I bug you for this. Remember, I don't have a job. I'm a consultant. When I am working, I get paid. When I'm not working, I don't get paid. That's how it works. That's why I bug you for this. So if you can't become a member, please do so. And also, if you can't do that, it's okay. Then support our sponsors. Head on over to the advocates. You know where to go. You know which link to use. Use that link. Take one of those tests and then share it. That's free. Cost you nothing. A member, $49 per month. That free. Like, free. Totally free. Why should you become a member? Because you can submit videos if you want to. And I will have a member show this month. I don't know when yet. This month, you come on a show with me and hang out and talk and chat. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. But remember, please remember something, guys. Remember the new rules. After this is over, once this is over, I need you to comment after the live. Come on back and comment. It does matter. Please do that. Comment afterwards because YouTube is saying if people don't react to this, they are going to ignore this. I want you to not ignore this. So please put a comment out. Tell me, what do you think about this whole gerrymandering piece? What's your thought process? I don't care what it is. Tell me what it is, please, in the comments afterwards. It does matter. Please do so. This is not live. So you can see 2 videos pop up. Click on one of those videos right away. Watch one of them for like 8 or 10 minutes. The Algo loves that too. I will be on tomorrow. Civil only, 7 p.m. I will see you all very soon.